This weekend, I'm playing the most incredible gig I've ever had, and I'm not only going to take you along with me, but also give you my best tips and tricks if you're interested in this kind of work. Let's get into it. Good morning. So today is a really special day. Today I'm doing a gig and I'm gonna have to leave this little baby all by himself. We're gonna get into the music related tips and tricks very soon, but I wanted to show this part of my process because I think it's super important to do something creative before a performance to help settle nerves. Because I'm going to be gone for 8 hours total, including travel time, playing time, and the sound check, I hired a pet sitter, so I decided my craft today would be to make a list with all of the instructions. So Sherlock is all tired out from his walk. He's so cute. And now I'm gonna do my makeup for the gig. And while I'm doing that, I wanted to kind of talk about what the gig is, how I got the job, because I remember when I first got to conservatory, I was like wondering how people got gigs, like how do you make those connections, and also what that might look like. So the gig is actually a reference from my violist in my chamber group, and from hearing a lot of people talk about this stuff, it seems like chamber groups are a really great way to make connections because they involve so many people, and a lot of events will hire string quartets. If I could go back to my freshman self, I would tell myself to really make sure to be interacting with my classmates a lot more, because your classmates are your colleagues, and your classmates are the people who are going to help you get gigs, make connections. So it's really important to be kind to everyone, because if everyone likes you, you're constantly going to be getting gigs from people. Something we're talking about in class, we have a class in conservatory called Practical Foundations, which is basically about music business, and a topic we were talking about is like, when is a job worth it? Sometimes jobs don't pay you in money that well, but they can pay you in connections, and that's not something to scoff at, because connections are super important. Like, connections are wealth in this world. So although we're not getting paid like that much, I do think it's super exciting to be playing in a fancy hotel downtown. They're gonna pick us up in a fancy car. It's just kind of funny that I can go from like last week being like a student studying for midterms, like totally not glamorous life, to this week getting to play for this fancy gala. I feel like life as a musician, especially in New York, is kind of like that. Some days are totally not glamorous, and some days it's all about the glitz and glam. So initially the event was from 6 to 10 p.m., but I didn't get the information that it was going to be so far away. And so that's why I had to get a pet sitter for this little one. There are a lot of pros and cons to having a dog in college. If you guys are interested, I would love to make a whole video about that, because I could really go on for a while about it. So if you're interested in hearing about what it's like to have a dog in college, the pros and cons, comment below, and I will make that video soon if there's enough interest. I don't think I'm gonna go with the fake lashes, and I think if I add like a nice lipstick, maybe like a deep color, maybe it'll make up for the fact that I'm not wearing lashes. Yeah, you know what? I think that looks pretty good. I am wearing a new dress for this event, and I'm also gonna add this belt just to give it that extra flair. Whenever I'm dressing for events, I try to be modest, but not like frumpy, if that makes sense. And because this is a new dress, I am going to test run it while I'm practicing before the event, just to make sure there's no logistical problems, it's comfortable to play in, and it's not going to affect my playing at all. And because this is a charity event for AIDS, we decided to all wear a red accent, because that is the AIDS awareness color. And so I'm just gonna put this here, and I mean, I think it looks adorable. And here I am warming up, making sure that the dress is comfortable, and working on some solo rep. So here's the thing about gigs, you never know when you're going to eat or what you're going to eat. And so I always love to pack a snack with me, and that turned out to be very useful during this gig, because although they provided us an amazing dinner, we actually didn't eat until like 9 p.m. So if I hadn't had this snack with me, I would have been starving, and I feel like the experience would not have been as fun. And of course, I have to make this regular old sandwich cute, so I'm going to use a cookie cutter and cut out the shape of an adorable little pumpkin. I'm dying. I think it's the cutest thing ever, and I'm excited to eat it later. All right, now it's time for literally the most important thing when you're heading out for a gig, which is packing your bag. I have a checklist to make sure I do not forget anything, because trust me, if you forget something, you're screwed, especially if your gig is far away from home. So starting off with the bag, I really like this one. I got it for super cheap. I personally need like a shoulder bag because I have the cello on my back, but I know that a lot of people prefer backpacks, and I do love it because it has this little pouch for all of the small things so they don't get lost in the bottom of my bag. So when it comes to small things, I have a cleaning cloth, concealer and lipstick to retouch my makeup, extra rosin, and deodorant and perfume, because honestly sometimes these things get really sweaty. In a separate bag, I'm also going to add a charger for my iPad. I read all of my music on my iPad, and although it is fully charged, you just never know what's going to happen. Maybe someone in your group's not going to have a charger or enough battery, so these are always super important. And I'm actually going to put it in the front pocket here so that it is easily accessible in case of emergency. Okay, next we're moving to the music supplies, which is literally the most important thing. You cannot forget any of this stuff. So I have my rock stop and my turning page pedal and my iPad, which holds all of my music. I'm also going to bring my computer. Even though this doesn't have any music on it, I can probably study, do homework, or whatever while I'm waiting to kill time. I'm not going to bring the charger though, because it's not really that important. It's just for my own boredom. And the snack that we packed earlier in case there's no food or it's not good food. And finally, my heels. I will wear these once I get to the venue, but usually I will wear flats on my way there. And here's a little bonus. I don't always do this, but I have this folding cello chair because sometimes venues will give you chairs that are really uncomfortable, and if a gig is like really long, you don't want to have back pain. So if you can, bring a chair. We are actually getting provided transportation there via Uber, so it's not going to be that hard to bring, but if I was going by the subway, I probably wouldn't bring it. This bag is stuffed to the brim. It just barely closes. I just finished warming up / practicing a little bit of solo rep, and the dog sitter just came by to meet Sherlock, got all of the instructions, and now they're on a walk in Central Park. All of that is settled, and now I'm going to head out to the gig. I'm so excited! I always forget how much stuff I actually have to bring. It's kind of a struggle, but I'm super glad that they provided us with transportation. And oh my gosh, when we got to the venue, I was floored. This venue is seriously stunning, and this is only the first room we got to play in for cocktail hour. As we walked through the doors, we saw the incredible dining hall where we played music between speeches. I don't think I've ever been in such a massive, gorgeous venue. Here's the view from the little stage that they set up, and while we were doing sound check, I spotted the lighting guy way up on the ceiling, which was fun. And I got a little bit more information on the event because I kind of had no idea what I was walking into before coming here. This evening was to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Aaron Diamond AIDS Research Center, which is one of the world's largest private research centers dedicated to understanding and curing AIDS. It was also the founding scientific director's birthday, Dr. David Ho. It was so incredible and surreal to be surrounded by so many amazing people who are working towards a cure to a problem that unfortunately affects a lot of people in this country. I'm looking forward to many more meaningful musical moments like these, thanks to my choice in career. Sometimes I can't believe that this is just the beginning, and there's so much more to come in my journey. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. I have lots of music-related videos coming up soon. I'm curious to hear in the comments what your experience with gigs have been. What's been your favorite gig, your least favorite gig? I want to hear about it all. I'll see you in the comments.